Hi, and welcome back to my channel. It is time for my weekly wrap-up. I used to call it Monday Reads, but I don't always do it on Monday. But guess what? I'm doing it today. Now, usually on my weekly wrap-up, I might have between 15 and 19 books. But this wrap-up, I only have maybe 10 or so. And the reason why there's less books in this wrap-up than normal for me anyway is because this past weekend was the Autumn Craftathon that was hosted by Crafting and Crime Daily, Mickey Sunshine Creates, and Crashly. I don't remember her full channel name. She did a lot of the spreadsheet stuff. So thank you to those ladies for arranging that weekend and for including me. So yes, I actually went live. So if you watch it, just put hashtag replay in the comments. Let me know that you saw my live video. Also, let me know if you think I might do okay going live in the future. So that's my catch up there. I need to get this video made because today will be a busy day. The first thing is making this video. I think I have 3 or 4 other book review videos to do, and I think 4 to 5 3 book reviews to write. Yes, I am ahead of schedule. I am flying ahead of schedule. I'm going to show you a couple of things to show you how my schedule is looking. And if I go to my my YouTube studio, which is right here, I've got 3 scheduled. I don't know if you can see the word scheduled. And then if I go down here, you see some private videos. Those are book review videos that I've already even made the thumbnails, and I just have to get the links to the Amazon for the books. So I've got about 9 or 10 videos ready to roll. And then on my blog, if I go to Blogger, I'm just waiting for it to populate. I have all of, let's turn my tablet this way. All of these are scheduled. I'm scheduled from today at 10 o'clock. I have Drunk on Love by Jasmine Guillory, and I'm scheduled all the way up to September 27th. So I am getting things done. Now, how did I manage to catch up or to get a little bit ahead? Well, I have to thank the Craftathon because it was difficult to read because I wanted to support all the creators. So what I did is how you see me oriented right now in my gaming chair. Behind this phone is my laptop. The phone is on a boom arm. There's a boom arm here. There's even a boom arm right here. And I sat here and wrote book review after book review after book review, combining that time with diamond painting. And so I jumped ahead. So not as much reading, but very much productivity. So I don't have any notes, so let's see how I do. We have The Foster Family. That is by Nicole Trope. That's the first book we're going to talk about in this video. Therefore, you will see a screenshot of that video, of that book. In The Foster Family, you have a couple who have adopted or are foster parents to a 5-year-old little boy named Joe. And they go on vacation. Now, a little history about this couple is it is not a good situation. The husband is controlling, abusive, narcissistic, and physically abusive towards his wife. They've been married about 20 years and they've never been able to have children on their own, and they decided that they're going to foster to make them their unit into a family. Well, the husband in that case passes that abuse on to little Joe. Meanwhile, when they're on vacation, they meet their neighbor, and their neighbor is an older gentleman who's in the kind of early to mid stages of dementia, Alzheimer's, and right now his big hobby is birds. So Joe and his foster mom do go over there a couple of times and look at the birds and talk to this older man. Well, the older man has a sixth sense that there's something not right about that little boy in his countenance. He wonders and worries if there's something going on in that household that's not safe for the little boy. But the problem is his dementia makes it so that sometimes he doesn't remember if what he remembers is actually the case, or even if it's a true memory. Perhaps it's a false memory. Well, the little boy ends up missing, and then we see the story come full circle as far as little Joe. The next book I reviewed was The New Couple by Alison James. Now, in this book, we have Stephanie and Richard and their adorable curly-haired little girl, baby named Poppy. But the thing is, and it's not a spoiler because you have two stories going on here. Stephanie and Richard aren't married, and Poppy is not their little girl. Is that a spoiler? That depends on your perspective, but I'm telling you that it's not. The story is Stephanie and Richard won a house, a beautifully renovated house in an exclusive area, no strings attached. So, the new couple move into this house. They have this neighbor named Jane Headley. Jane is the welcoming wagon. Hi, I'm your new neighbor. Welcome to the neighborhood. Stephanie is rude as all can be. A day or two later, they're walking about, and Jane sees Stephanie, and she tries to engage. Stephanie is just as rude as she was the first time. The third interaction, knock, knock, knock. Jane opens the door, and Stephanie is all but pushing Poppy into her hands and said, "Can you babysit? I need you to watch her." And Jane is like, well, maybe I should watch her at your house where all her things are. Oh, no, Richard wouldn't like that. Oh, okay. So Jane agrees and watches Poppy. She watched her once, she watched her twice, she watched her a couple more times, and then somebody else was watching Poppy. Now, this is a psychological thriller. What is the story behind Stephanie and Richard? What role does Jane play in discovering what's really behind this new couple that moved into the neighborhood? So, hopefully that'll whet your appetite for The New Couple by Alison James. The next book I read was The Child Between Us by Alison Ragsdale. Now, in this book, you have a woman who just got news that her twin has died. Her and her twin. Now, you notice I'm not saying character names, right? Because I'm not going on Goodreads. I'm just going by memory. Her twin has died. And when she goes to see about, I think there was like a lawyer or an exec, somebody that executes a will or whatever. She travels and she goes there, finds out that she has a little niece. Now she becomes guardian to her niece. The book is called The Child Between Us because the circumstances that brought that little girl into the world come back around to the auntie who is now the guardian. Now, the thing is, her sister, her twin, had been alienated from her mother, and they hadn't seen each other in years, to the point where nobody even knew that there was a little girl in the picture. So that was The Child Between Us. Then I read Operation Mom by Reenita Malhotra Hora. Now, she is from Mumbai, and therefore this YA book, was set in Mumbai. And our character, Ila, I do remember her name, Ila, she was crushing on this pop icon, but she was also crushing on her best friend's boyfriend. But Dipala, her best friend, had 3 boyfriends. So Dev, who was boyfriend number 3, is the guy who Ila is crushing on. But she loves and respects her friend, and her friend is very, very, sociable and beautiful, but Ila can't help but have an attraction to Dev. But the thing is, her mom is in her business. She's 17 years old, and she's tired of her mom involving herself in her everyday life. So she comes up with a plan. She's going to find her mom a man. Oh, yes, a husband. So her, Deepala, and Dev come up with a plan. They call it Operation Mom. They give themselves a time limit, I think like 6 weeks. So the book takes place 6 weeks, 5 weeks, 4 weeks. That's how the chapters are. And while they are doing this, the best way that they can think to do this is to use online dating programs or apps in order to find a husband or a man for Ela's mother. Very cute, very, very sweet. I loved it. It's YA, and if I can find more YA books like this, I'm definitely in for it. Then I read The Prisoner by B.A. Paris. Now, in this book, our character starts off where we know that she's captive. She's been taken captive. But the story takes place in 2 time frames. One time frame when she's captive and locked in a small room, but another time frame that somehow runs concurrent with that. She marries a man for just 30 days, and the man that she marries has been accused of rape, and she is pretty much going to be his alibi, and provide character for him, and he promises her 50,000 pounds if she will stay married to him for 30 days. She says, no, I want $1 for day 1. You can double it on day 2, double that, so it would be $1, $2, $4, $8. And if you take times that by 30 days, you would be shocked at how much that $1 turns into. Well, the same idea is presented to the kidnappers, because when she's kidnapped and when she's held prisoner, she's not the only one that's held prisoner. So that is by B.A. Paris. Then I read Diana, William, and Harry by James Patterson, and I don't remember his co-author. And this book gave me mixed feelings. On the one hand, if you are attracted to news about the royal family in the UK, like I know today is the Queen's funeral, and I do pray that they find peace and comfort, and my heart goes out to her family. So I do want to acknowledge that. Well, when I got this book 2 or 3 months ago, but I just got to it last week. Well, this book is basically a recounting of how Princess Di met Prince Charles, what their marriage was like, when she had her first child, when she had her second child, how they didn't see eye to eye, just like a biography, but like in quick format. And then it talked about William, and then it talked about Harry, and then the book was the end. Now, the thing is, I had it as an audiobook, and all I can tell you is the narrator, to me, sounded like somebody who is reading a book on statistics. 4 plus 4 equals 8. 8 times 2 equals 16. And 16 divided by 4 equals 4. Plus 4 equals 8 times 2 equals 16. And I swear, I was having a hard time following that drone of a voice. But because the book was heavily based on research and news articles and tabloid facts, or no, I shouldn't say tabloid facts, tabloid headlines, it was interesting. So I have mixed feelings about that book. Then I read Millstone of Doubt by Erica Vetsch. Now, this is the second book in a series, and I can't remember the first book. But this was a really good book because it's historical fiction, and I do want to look this one up because I really liked this one, and I'm going to pull this one up on Goodreads. Bear with me for one moment. And if it takes too long, I'll just edit this part out. Yeah, I do have it right here. This is the Thorndike and Swan Regency Mysteries #2. What I like about this book is we have a couple, Lady Julia Thorndike. I'm sorry, let me get these characters right. Lady Julia Thorndike is an amateur sleuth, okay? And then she is seeing someone named Daniel. But the thing is, Juliet is a lady and Danielle is a Bow Street runner. they are attracted to each other, and they end up working together in a manner of speaking when it comes to solving murders. But the problem is station in life. She's a lady, he's a commoner, a Bow Street runner, and no matter how much they like each other, he's not of the peerage, so nothing can happen. Meanwhile, her mother wants her to marry, so there's times when she'll go to a ball or a dance and be presented with a gentleman that might just be perfect for her and for her to fulfill her place in society. I love that book, and I love the series, and I'm going to tell you the first book because I did read that last year. That was The Debutante's Code. Really, really good, clean, historical romances. Or should I? No, I shouldn't say that. Historical cozy mysteries. Can I correct myself again? Historical cozy mysteries. I just want to make that clear because that was a mistake. Then I read The Italian Daughter by Soraya Lane. Now, I had The Italian Daughter as an ebook, but sometimes Bookshare Audio will put one or two of their books on audio format. So I was able to get this as an audiobook, and I think it's Zoe Mills who was the narrator, if I'm not mistaken. And what I liked about this book is this is book number 1 in the Lost Daughters series. Now, I have seen a little bit about book number 2. So the characters in this book have a complete story from beginning to end. And then the characters in book number 2 will have its own story from beginning to end. In this particular book, we have 1946 Italy, and we have Esty, who was a promising ballerina starting off at the age of 12, and the difficult times that she went through to become, she wanted to join La Scala, which was, I guess, a really exclusive ballet company. And her mother was very, very hard on her, and she was very torn because she did love ballet, but her mother put a lot of pressure on her. Well, she met somebody named Felix. She was 12, he was 14. The two had interactions over the course of time. Will they ever be a couple? That was the question. Now, before I go on to that, we have modern time, and we have Lily and someone named Antonio. Now, Lily accepts a job at a vineyard in Italy. But before she goes to Italy, now, by the way, Lily was a winemaker who traveled different countries and would work at different vineyards for months at a time in order to fully understand grapes, the soil, the smells, the touch, the feels, anything involved with wineries. So she just came back from an extended trip to New Zealand, and now she's about to go to Italy. Just before Lily goes off to Italy, she finds a note among her grandmother's belongings that led her to see an executor of, I won't say a will, but some legal information. And when she met this person, they had a box, and there was something in that box that led her to wonder about who her grandmother was and where her grandmother originated from. Coincidentally, it was proof in this box that her grandmother came from Italy, and she's like, well, hey, I'm about to go to Italy. I'm going to ask questions. So we have Lily and Antonio in present-day Italy, and then we have Este and Felix in 1946 Italy. It was Como. That's the state, or I guess it's the state. I don't know how they say it. But it was Como, Italy. Lovely, 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 lovely story. Este and Felix's story was heartbreaking. But just a great story. I'm not going to say anything else about that. Then I read Marple, 12 New Mysteries. Yes, 12 authors. And let's just highlight a couple of them. I'm just bringing it up. Just bear with me. Sometimes tablets can be a little slow. Our brain, I think, no matter how good technology is, our brain's just a much sharper. So, in Marple, 12 New Mysteries, we had authors like, I'm just going to name the popular ones: Lee Bardugo, Alyssa Cole, Ruth Ware, Kate Moss, Val McDermid, 12 authors who wrote novellas in this Agatha Christie Miss Marple mystery anthology. And I got it as an audiobook, so we had a bunch of different narrators. I love that, because if it took place in India, then you had it. I'm just using that as an example. Our narrator would be, of that culture. If it took place in China, that narrator would have that nuance of that voice. When there was one on the Caribbean, that the narration was great. Really, really great. I loved these mysteries. They were really, really, really good. But here's the thing. I was not a Miss Marple fan. I was a Hercule Poirot fan. So I read every single book that had Hercule Poirot, but I only read a few Miss Marple mysteries. But because I love this so much, guess what? I am going to read all of Miss Marple's mysteries. I'll just have to figure out where to get them. I don't know if they might be in the Gutenberg Library, the public domain, but if not, they won't cost me much to get from my Kindle. And then the last book that I read in this wrap up was Silent Angel, and Silent Angel is by Helen Phifer. Now, this is the newest book in her, I want to say Morgan Brook. Give me a second to give you the right last name. I'm pretty sure it's Morgan Brook. Yep. Oh, Brooks plural. Okay, so I was close. This is number 7 in the Detective Morgan Brooks series. And it starts off with Morgan and Ben about to celebrate Morgan's birthday. But before they can even do that, they get a call. Ben is called to the scene where a body of a teenage girl was found, and Morgan, as detective, says, "Hey, I might as well join you. My birthday is not going to be a birthday without you." Well, when they get there, they find that this girl, as it turned out, it was a 16-year-old girl named Shay Wilkinson. And let me tell you, this book was so emotional. Morgan was strongly affected by the sight of that body. And it looked like to Morgan that a certain person was responsible for that murder. And there were other things that happened in this book. And Morgan was really working hard to try to figure out what was going on and why this body was left in the deplorable condition that it was. Any murder is going to be horrid, don't get me wrong. But this one hit Morgan super hard. Now, I haven't written a review nor done my video on this yet, so that's pretty much all I'm going to say about that. And now I am reading A Death at Neptune's Cove by Emma Jameson, which I believe is the Jemima Jago book 3, if I'm not mistaken. I did read the first 2. Let's just see if I'm right that it's the third one. I'm pretty sure it's book 3. I hate when you hit home on Goodreads and it doesn't click. Okay, it's the 4th book in the Jemima Jago series. And it's a cozy mystery series, obviously. I just love cozy mysteries. So that is my wrap up for this week. So let me go ahead and edit this video, get all the book covers up there for you. I will put the link. No, I won't put the links in. I'm just going to put the book covers up. If you want a link, just let me know. But thank you for watching. Do me a favor, hit like. Do that for me, because that will help me to get into YouTube's algorithm for people who are interested in reading. I'll be back with more. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.